Hey guys, Crypto here with another video, and I don't know if you guys have noticed over the last few years, but whenever we get a budget for a Disney project, we seem to get follow-up adjustments in the years that come after. It's happened with The Force Awakens, it's happened with The Acolyte, I'm sure it's happened with others as well, I'm trying to remember, but it's happened now with Andor, which already had a really crazy high budget of over $600 million. Disney spent more on Andor than any of its Star Wars movies. Disney has revealed today that it spent $60.5 million on the second season of Star Wars streaming series Andor in 2024, ahead of its debut in April this year, giving the show a total cost of $705.5 million, which was within the budget but still far higher than the spending of any of the movies in the sci-fi saga. Disney has had a mixed bag of results from its Star Wars shows and movies since it bought the creator of the series, Lucasfilm, for $4 billion in 2012. All the stars aligned for The Force Awakens, the first in Disney's trilogy of sequels to the original films, which kicked off in 1977. Okay, then we get into, how much money they made and blah, 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 blah. And then they talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu. And the thing is I think, if I had to guess, I think the amount of money they dumped into Andor was their way of trying to get their streaming service back going, because the other shows didn't really do it. But The Mandalorian did. So The Mandalorian brought them to a certain point, and they wanted to increase that with Andor. And after season 1, and there was some positivity out there from a good amount of people, not me, but a lot of people, did like that show. So I think they just thought, just keep pumping money into it, because we want to cash in on that and keep the Disney Plus. Like the streaming services are like the priority for a lot of these guys. It's not really the movies, it's the streaming services. I think with Star Wars, we've kind of seen that, right? Like they've really prioritized with all these shows and stuff like that. Remember that scene? That opening scene of season 2 when Andor's just in an Imperial facility and no one seems to care. That's one of the things I made fun of. It's like, so in season 1, they show the Imperial security headquarters literally shows a holographic image of his face, and they spread it around to all their people and sent it all out. So if anyone finds this guy, do something about it. And he's just sitting in an Imperial facility, with no helmet on, no mask, no nothing. How did he get in there? And then he steals a TIE fighter. It's like, boy, the Imperial security guys are pretty glub. I mean, they know exactly who he is. They know exactly what he looks like. But somehow he's just able to just be in an Imperial facility. Conveniently, they didn't show how he got in there because, that would have been pretty weird. Hopefully they don't think about it, eh, guys? The genius writing. Anyway, so they go into like a bunch of the different shows and this and that and the other thing. But what I wanted to do here today was one of the things that people kind of claim is that, well, but, we don't know how much money Andor made, and we don't know the level of success because we just don't have the monetary connection to it. Okay, that's fine. But listen to this. Before I get into that, hold on, listen to this. It explains why the company today released its financial statements to November 22nd, 2024, which show that by then, a total of $705.5 million had been spent on both seasons of the show. The second season debuted precisely 5 months after the date of the financial statement, so the cost is likely to rise in the subsequent set of filings next year. Like, what is this? Where is the money going? Holy smokes, man. Like, this is nuts. I mean, Andor, looked pretty decent, but, like, that much money. Staff numbers on Andor, they paid $85.5 million for the staff, which is the highest wage bill for any of the shows and movies made by Disney in the UK over the past 15 years. How is that possible? They had more people for Andor than for the movies? Kathy, you're supposed to be, like, the logistics producer person that figures out how to do stuff at the cheapest possible way and still look good. That's kind of like a producer's job, at least in part. What were you doing? Staff numbers on Andor peaked in 2023 at a monthly average of 501 people, which doesn't include freelancers, contractors, and temporary workers, as they aren't listed as employees on the books of UK companies, even though they often represent the majority of the crew on film shoot. Like, did they not reuse the extras? Like, 501 people, like, did they not just reuse, okay, today you're going to be a rebel on Ferrix, and then, tomorrow we're going to throw you in a stormtrooper suit? Like, didn't they reuse guys? Like, why would you have that many people? That's nuts. Disney announced that since 2019, it has spent $4.8 billion on production in the UK across 41 shows and 29 feature films, totaling more than 32,000 jobs. Wow. Okay. But this is what I wanted to show you guys, because everybody says, oh, well, we don't know how much money it made and blah, 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 blah. And I have a hard time believing it made any money with that kind of a budget, okay? And then I was like, okay, so how can we kind of come to a reasonable conclusion about what kind of profitability the show Andor actually had? And so I said to myself, okay, so when did Andor Season 1 come out again? Oh, yeah, September 21st, 2022. So we go to the charts, 2022, third quarter. Okay, so they did see a bit of a jump. Okay, they did see a bit of a jump. But what you notice when you factor in the Disney Plus Hotstar. So what Hotstar is it's available in India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand with significantly lower revenue per subscriber than in other markets. And it doesn't just include, like, it's not just, it's an Indian subscription-based video-on-demand streaming service that offers a mix of local and international content, including Disney and Fox films, television series, live sports, and original programming. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just what we get on Disney Plus over here, right? Which is like the Disney stuff, basically. And I mean some other shows too, like Simpsons and the Fox stuff. But they're getting the sports and all types of stuff, right? So they get what, ESPN, right? Is Disney. So it's not necessarily a reflection of Andor why those subscriptions went up, because again, you look quarter 3 2022, a lot of that is Hotstar. So, but it did go up a little bit, but not much. 700 million you spent? How much of that percentage of increase was Andor? Not much based on what I'm seeing. And then it kind of went up in quarter 4. Okay. But again, in quarter 4, a lot of Hotstar. I'm not saying that East Indian people don't watch Andor, but they probably are watching more soccer than Andor, or football than Andor. But anyways, so then I looked at, okay, Season 2. Season 2 came out April 22nd, 2025. And again, we go back to the chart here. April 22nd, quarter 2, 0 increase. Look at that. That's a flat line. So it bumped up like a tiny amount during Andor's finale, like in the second month of Andor. This show didn't make any money, guys. This show didn't do anything for them. So it's amazing to me, like, because people argue, right? Like, oh, it's so popular, it's so amazing, it's so good. And it's like, I get it. A lot of people really like Andor. That's cool, whatever. Like your Andor, I don't care. But don't try and tell me that it was this big, profitable, great thing for Disney, because it wasn't. Clearly it wasn't. That is a straight line with a little itty bitty little uptick. That's it. And again, you go back to it, during its first run in Season 1, you had a lot of increase due to Hotstar. That kind of fizzled. In 2023, you saw a little bit of an increase, but I mean, not much. So, did Andor actually increase Disney Plus's subscriber base and therefore make them money? Maybe a bit, but not $700 million worth of a bit. It's just not, it's not realistic. It just isn't. I mean, if you look at from quarter 3, so the end of Andor in 2025, as it went, like as people heard about it, oh, now we're going to subscribe. I mean, they only added like, I don't know, maybe like 3 million subs, something like that. Let's say it's 10. It's not, but let's say it's 10 million subs. So you paid 700 million. So if you take both Andor seasons and you look at the chart, and it's like, they go up a little bit in Season 1, and then they go up a little teeny tiny bit at the end of Season 2, like a tiny amount. I'm being generous by giving them 10 million on Season 2 added subscribers, right? But if you divide 20 million, let's say it's 20 total for Season 1 and 2. And again, I'm being very generous with Season 2. I'm just doing the eyeball test here across the chart. I think that's very generous, okay? So let's say it's 20 million total added. That means Disney Plus acquisition cost to get those subscriptions was $35. So they literally paid $35 to get you to sign up to Disney Plus. If you held on to it for maybe say 4 months, then they've made a profit off of you. How many people just signed up, watched Andor, and then canceled right after? Right? I don't know. But I do know that it's a flat line in 2025, the first 3 quarters, basically a flat line. So I don't know how they made any money off of this. They paid way too much to acquire any of those people. And keep in mind, that's including the Hotstar, and it's also, you have to assume some of those people are not Star Wars fans. They just signed up for Disney Plus because they like something else on Disney Plus. You can't assume that all 20 million of them are getting their subscriptions for Andor. So I don't want to it's been a big argument online about how popular it was and how great it is and this and that, and you know what, maybe that's true, but you know what? It cost way too much money. And again, we've talked so much about Lucasfilm just hemorrhaging money. And when you're paying $35 a person, and that's being very generous, again, assuming they all got their Disney Plus subscriptions for Andor, that's still not good. That's way too much money. And then you factor in all their other Disney Plus shows, and it's like, yeah, they saw a pretty massive increase from Q1 2020 up to Q4 2022. But when you look at it, most of that was because of Hotstar. If you look at the actual Disney Plus core, they saw a pretty big increase when they first came out in the first year, and then it went down a bit, and then it kind of went up, a few million a year or whatever, 10 a year or something like that, and then it just kind of stayed stagnant in 2023. 2024 went up a bit, right? Not really, and then went down in 2025. So if you look, Mandalorian was the big one in 2019. 2020, you had the Clone Wars final season in the first quarter. And then the Mandalorian premiered in May of 2022. And so, you saw a bit of an increase there. Kept going up a little bit. Bad Batch, May 2021. Q2, yeah, you saw an increase. Star Wars Visions. But again, a lot of those increases, when you go back to the chart, had nothing to do with Star Wars. It was this Hotstar thing they added in India. Book of Boba Fett, last quarter 2021. Nothing. Obi-Wan Kenobi, May 27th, 2022. That's Q2, 2022. Okay, you did see a jump into Q3. So Kenobi did add a good, I want to say 15 mil or 10 to 15 mil. That show cost what? 90 million? So that was something like that, right? It was pretty low. I only remember that because Star Wars Theory is super mad that they spend all that money on Acolyte and they didn't spend any money on Obi-Wan, which it looked cheap, so I don't blame them. Andor, yeah, we did that already. Tales of the Jedi, who cares? Ahsoka, this is another big one. August 22nd, 2023, so third quarter 2023. But again, you got to factor in Hotstar as well. So Ahsoka did add a bit, right, if you look at the Hotstar chart. But again, not much. Few million. So none of these shows are doing anything for them. Then you get the Acolyte, June 2024. So you're looking at the beginning of the third quarter. Or sorry, you're looking at the end of the second quarter, right? 2024. Okay. Went up a bit. People were excited. Kind of held on. Q3. And then big dip. Almost as if people were really mad about the Acolyte. And again, there's other shows too. It's not all about the Disney Star Wars stuff. There's other stuff on Disney Plus too. Then in Skeleton Crew was December 2nd, 2024. So final quarter. And just nothing. And nothing since. Just a stagnant. At that point, it was just, I think the Acolyte really did damage to the Disney Plus. Holy smokes. Did it ever. So I don't see any of these shows. I mean, Mandalorian, absolutely. You saw bump up at the beginning with Mandalorian and stuff like that. Again, some of that, though, would be attributed to just the fact that Disney Plus came out, right? It comes out, people get it, and then more people get it. So the Mandalorian, you could argue, kind of built it at the beginning. And then it just didn't really do much because so much of this is Hotstar. So much of those increases in 2021 and 2022 are due to Hotstar. There's a little bit of you can see a little bit of a wave for the Disney Plus core, but a lot of that was Hotstar up until 2023, and then it just kind of fizzled, right? So it's like, if it wasn't for Hotstar, I think most people would be more aware of how little these shows are doing for the streaming service. Because again, you can see the clear wave going up, and how much of it is just simply because they opened up that market. And also keep in mind, they make less money from Hotstar. So however many of those new subs that didn't sub because of Andor and these other Disney Plus shows, but subbed for football games and whatever else in India, they were getting it at a significantly lower subscriber rate. Significantly. So it's got to be at least like 50% of what we pay. So those also change, the customer acquisition cost of Andor. Like, being that a lot of those new subscribers were coming from a platform that was way, way cheaper and weren't even necessarily like, let's even say they were for Andor, and we based it all on this and the $35 per acquisition. Well, when you factor in that these people are probably paying half of what we pay, the customer acquisition cost is ridiculous for what you're getting back. It would take months and months and months and months for that to be worth it. If it was $35 and they're paying $8 a month or something in India, that guy has to have an account for like 6 months to a year before it makes any sense and is profitable after expenses and stuff. And because you need to double your money, right? Like, if you paid $35 for an acquisition, you need to make at least $35 back before it was really worth wasting your time. That's sort of a basic principle. So all that to say, Andor's a massive bomb. Not because people didn't like it. I know lots of people liked it, but from a business standpoint, it is a complete disaster. It's every bit as bad as The Acolyte. It's every bit as bad as any of them, really. I mean, Kenobi kind of, I think, was worth it, but like every other show was not worth it, and they lost money on it, basically. Maybe The Bad Batch, you could argue just because at that time there was a lot of increases. But The Mandalorian and the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi are the only things on Disney Plus that I think made them any money from Star Wars. I think that's it. Everything else lost the money, it looks like to me. Anyways, guys, that's the skinny. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. It always helps the channel. Feel free to check everything else on my channel. Have yourselves a really good day.